suffice it to say, I've got two games that I want to go over today. They are both, let's see, I need to make sure I get this right. They are both from this wonderful, wonderful server called Tygem, which I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It's a nice, peaceful server that everybody always plays on for nice, peaceful games, right? I'm sure that's correct. I'm sure I have that exactly correct. Let's see, Black. You may have recognized... Okay, anyone that actually plays on Tygem, you should recognize these names. And if you don't, then now you know who you should be watching anytime they have a game up. We have ddcg versus I Don't Care. These names should be familiar to everybody. Reason being, they are top professionals. Not for you. Ooh, now you are. Alright, so... Doesn't use Tygem? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. If you want top play, you gotta see Tygem. But yeah, suffice it to say, I Don't Care has been on my radar for a very, very long time, and let me explain why. It's very easy for amateurs to actually rank from like 5 Dan to 9 Dan without losing a game. So that pros can do it as well, also not surprising. However, how a person ranks up to 9 Dan without losing, that's where the interesting separation lies. Because some people have such a firm grasp of the basics that they'll just make you look silly, playing nothing special and ranking up to 9 Dan. I Don't Care is one of these players. Legend 88, you might remember, I've got a series on him. He's one of those players. I haven't mentioned him before, but Alco was one. He was also a very, very strong player that did this. All of them, simple play. In I Don't Care's case, we kind of see it go beyond his ability to simply play amateurs. We also see him sometimes play very, very easily, very, very simply against other professionals that are on the server, and make them look silly as well. The two games that I want to go over today are games where that happens. You want to, but your laptop doesn't let you. Oh, I'm sorry. Thomas Peterson, good afternoon. And everyone else, welcome to the stream. Alright, so we've got I Don't Care as black here. We've got ddcg as white. They are both pros, both 9 Dans. Not sure if they're 9 Dan pros, though. I should clarify that. We don't have any idea who they are because they're playing anonymously. Well, I don't know who they are. If you actually speak Chinese or Korean, maybe you do. But alright, we open up with a large knight. Alright, says that there might be some influence to be gained here. Would like to grab the R10 extension, if at all possible. Of course, never gonna happen. White sides to split. And now we have an aggressive game, because rather than respond, as we like to do, either above or below, to take advantage of the fact that this stone needs a base, push it whatever direction we want, go about our business, get free points. Awesome. Instead of doing what is normal, we're going to go a little bit complicated here. And we're going to pincer. Or going to approach, sorry, which gets pincered. Now this in and of itself just turned complicated. However, it does bear mentioning that we are dealing with Chinese and Korean pros here, so they kind of invite more complication. But I assure you, the game in and of itself isn't going to be a complicated game. I think everyone will be able to follow along with what goes on. So, black approaches again, which immediately gets pincered again. So we should have an incredibly complicated game here, right? Because what do we have here? We've got an approach that's pincered, another approach that's pincered. We have a split that needs answering. We've got a lot that we have to do here. Let's see, is it even fair to ask how you would try to simplify this game? Is that fair to do? It might be unfair to do, but I'm going to ask. What are your thoughts on these positions? I don't think there's any right answer here. I'm just curious. Do you favor responding to one of your approaching stones over the other? Are you going to go off do something different? Yeah, it depends on everyone's style. With this much complication on the board, there's so many possibilities. It's not really fair to ask. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that black decides to play a large knight, which is really, really strange, because everyone knows the attachment underneath, it does exist. That said, just to make things even more complicated, as if I'm lying to you all that this is going to be an easy game, white responds by forcing black to protect. Alright. So, easy game? What do you think? Nice and simple so far? Does anyone have a prediction how this is going to turn simple? Doesn't look that way, does it? No. This looks like about as most complicated games I've ever seen. And that's one of the reasons why I picked it. Because this complicated game is going to simplify itself very, very quickly within the next couple of moves. Does anyone have any comprehension of how that could possibly happen? Looking at this board. Settle weak stones fast? Okay, you could do that. You'd have a bunch of groups, but you could do that. I like the answer, I like the answer. Black responds. Important to note how he responds. He's not saying, you can push me however you want. He's saying, if you want to cut me, we're getting into a fight. So he did respond, whoops. He did respond aggressively. That does bear noting. White follows up because the large knight is very, very unusual. It's probably the most unusual thing on the board after this point. I mean, we tend to see moves at A. We can sometimes see moves at B if you really hate life. Don't really see much at C these days. But the large knight, lots of Aji available. Don't see it very often. Why? Oops. Oh, I did destroy the tree. I was doing so good for like 13 moves too. Why P4? There's a couple of reasons. Let's see. Are we actually going to see a direct answer here in this game? I don't think we see the direct answer, if I remember correctly. I'm verifying real quick. Alright, yeah, we're going to. With white's next move, we're seeing a very unusual variation. White is going to find himself cut. Black is going to connect, sacrifice to try to kill the corner. White's going to push through. If black blocks, there's a ladder. That the before mentioned variation would definitely work for if we were given those forcing moves. Right? So we're going to go here. Going to go here. Going to sacrifice the corner for influence, so says white. Alright, the corner has been settled pretty peacefully. Influence for territory, most basic exchange you can possibly make in a game. Black follows up, enlarges his corner, sure, why not? And from here the game is going to turn incredibly peaceful, because white needs to use the influence that he just obtained, right? So he can't really go around the board continuing to make complication. He needs to use his stones or he's going to be at a very, very severe deficit in terms of territory. So he approaches on this side rather than this side. This side would be bad because it pushes our opponent towards the influence that we're trying to develop, and we don't want to do that. What's the point of the wall if it's only killing the 2 stones currently touching it? That, not very good. So instead, he approaches on this side. Black backs off, doesn't get anything weird, no reason to pincer. Pincering is an example of impatient play. It says that you don't know how to count, or you're entirely too aggressive. Because right now, white still isn't making anything with this bed of influence and extension, whereas black is picking up points and has now denied this little stone a base. We would lose all of that if we decided to pincer. Potentially, anyway. Alright, so white jumps up. Try and use that influence. And from here you can get a pretty good guess as to how this game simplifies, right? White's tactics have been decided. He's going to be using influence. Black, on the other hand, mostly territorial, he's going to have to reduce said influence. So the question becomes, who is better at doing their job? What do you think? Anyone have any large moves here? Because now we can actually begin asking ourselves what's larger. Now that the game is starting to simplify itself a bit. We can ask ourselves things like, do we need to start reducing now? Is it okay to leave it? Go back to maybe the C5 stone, play over there. Bottom left-hand corner. Ooh, I want something with C5 right now. Yeah. Okay. Change directions. G3. Okay, okay. So, no one would play Q18 right now, is what I'm hearing. Is that correct? No one wants to defend the corner? Okay. Problem with that is if we do not defend the corner, one of the things that we are going to activate is the invasion, which really sucks. Because there's no good way to respond with this, right? We all know that this is going to lead into an uncomfortable variation where we're pretty much under a severe attack right now. Not only is white strong on the outside, stole our corner, and essentially already has a pincer in place on our group. So this itself is uncomfortable. Now, you can sidestep this variation by playing something like this, but no, that's too overconcentrated. We would never play this. Because even now, we're not good. We're not good off, and we've just given up a lot of points. White connected up, white still has the influence, and we made a mistake because we were greedy. We played away because we were impatient, or we were greedy, and now we're in trouble. That's why it's really, really hard to play a really territorial style, because you can envision things like this growing out of control unless you do something about it, or follow up elsewhere and take larger points, and just follow and just like falling more and more behind with every play. That's why a lot of players tend to lean more towards the influential styles of play, wanting to build up large areas. So this, in my opinion, is harder to do. But we can see it's very, very important. Plus, on the bright side, it also offers us a potential invasion point later on, because M17 threatens to connect underneath if we get to play it. And just while I'm on the subject, please, 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 stop kicking here immediately, those of you who wind up in this variation. I see this all the time. Thinking I'm going to kick, the invasion's not going to occur. But no, there's still Aji there, and now you're actually taking away Aji from your corner. Why would we not? No, the question is, why would you? What does a kick give you that you didn't have previously? Because that kick could be a co-threat, for example. In fact, if you get into a co, Maybe you might even want to play something like R17 as a threat. But you're getting rid of a lot of Aji in that corner if you seal it off right now for no benefit. Alright, so white wants to try to play influential. Here's a question to everyone. How do we play influence? Please think as greedy as possible. Here's a test of greed. How do we play influentially here? We want to be greedy. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Greedy as we can be. How do we do it? Okay, Tengen's not greedy. Tengen's crazy. There's a difference between greedy and crazy. Q13. Ooh, good job. Who's first at it? Peacock said it, and Go Dave and Kirk. Congratulations, Captain. Quite correct. We have a low stone. Shoulder hits are amazing things. They can reduce, they can expand, they can attack. They're this like lovely little versatile creature that everyone should have in their arsenal. Oh, chat said it too. Congratulations. Alright, so yes, this is a wonderful stone because it's linking up the stone which can't get a base to the framework and expanding it. It's pretty cool. Plus, if we start hallucinating and drawing those invisible lines on the board that we like so much, we can connect lines between here and realize that this is pretty much our area of influence. So anything that goes deeper than this might get killed. White responds, or black responds because the stone's getting hurt. White responds because we're going to be greedy. Hurrah. Alright. What do you think? Time to reduce now? This is unfair for me to say, because the minute I said that, the people who are watching this later on YouTube or on Twitch right now just saw me smile the minute I asked that question, which kind of gives away the answer. So maybe I shouldn't use webcam from now on during these lectures. But yeah, I'll ask anyway. What do you think? Time to reduce? Wow, you said no. Span the bottom. Okay. Okay. I like that answer. Like, I can see how you're coming to it. I want the bottom. Right now, we're seeing a really great example as to what is separating us from professionals. Because it makes perfect sense. Yeah, bottom, go expand it. Totally. Absolutely. Expand that bottom. B15, anyone? Did anyone consider B15? Probably not. Not at all. No? Yeah. Can understand that. The question then becomes, what in the heck is B15? And again, it's a couple of things. One, it helps the corner a little bit because it's a good point for both players. It's completely Gote for white to respond to, so he's not going to do it. So we got that. So it's Gote for black, granted, but we know that white's not going to, because we know white's not going to respond there. But it also allows us to jump into an invasion point later on if necessary. So right now we're threatening two different invasion points on the board right now. And we can come up from here so far. So in a way, he's not reducing yet, but he is threatening to. He's threatening multiple invasion points on the area that white's developing. Yeah, Gote with Sente follow-ups. So it looks like a small play, but it's really not. Whereas if we took a stone elsewhere, let's say, then this might have to be responded to. And this is turning into territory really quickly. Right? Now we have just a top invasion, no good left side, and our stone just got crushed. Our stone might still get crushed, but at least we have 2 invasion points. But we're not going to crush the stone, because we're greedy. And this game is the greediest thing I've ever seen. Alright. So what we're going to do instead is keep being greedy. We're going to try and sacrifice our stone here to keep building up the center. Because we're greedy. When you play for influence, greed is good. White is denied follow-up. Can't split. Black connects. Okay. White says defend yourself. Black says I'm going to be nice and strong here. White says and I'm going to cut you off. Does anyone want to be in Black's position right now, out of curiosity? That's another good question that I haven't asked. You actually want to? Okay. I like territory. Yeah, I like territory too, but this much influence scares the bejesus out of me. Not gonna lie. I like territory. Seems less nice than a while ago to me. 3 big corners. Seems alright. Indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. To someone who knows how to count, this gets a lot less frightening. But we're going to go over that in a minute. Because black comes out. Or wait, did I miss something? Wouldn't Q3 instead of Q4 be nice to deal with? Okay. U. Okay. Wait, what? I think I missed something. Oh. Go here. You mean P3? So this, and then P3? Wait. Okay. I am completely confused. Instead of black P3. Oh, okay. Instead of this. Alright, instead of this we do what? So just so I know exactly what you're referring to, what do you want to play inside here? Q3 now. Okay. Well, there is a cut point still viable there. Can't take it now. I think leaving that Aji might be a little bit bad. Let's see, do we attach first? Still same move? We do that, the double Hane, and then we can go and we can push through. So I don't think we'd play this way, right? I mean, if we keep fighting against this, we're just for sure going to kill off our 8. We don't want to kill off R8, so we can't play that. We just jump out now? But the minute you turn, you activate the cut point. So I have to go back and play here anyway? Yeah, it looks interesting, but I think it might be a little bit bad. Here we can see there's a lot of options available for black. This shape is one that amateurs like to make a lot, but it's not a very strong one. No way to get shape for white means this is just going to be a running group unless he thinks of something else to do with it. Here we can see him trying to get shape with it. Black says, I am not afraid of Ko, unlike some players I could name. Here's an interesting move. Going back and playing this regardless. Black ignores to reduce. A pretty straightforward variation in which influence for territory is again exchanged. That, I do believe, is in fact a ddcg. But we can see the, reoccurring theme throughout here. Once again, white is exchanging influence for territory. And then he decides to do something really, really insane. Because he's greedy, he's going after all of the center. Just as blatantly as you please. Like, everything is going to be mine. Black says, okay, I'm going to kill off your stones then. White says, that's cool, I didn't want them anyway, I'm interested in the middle. So black says, okay, then your stones are dead. And white says, fine, everything above me is mine. So, what is the story of this game right now? The story of this game is greed and speed building. Absolutely. Kirk, thank you very much. That's exactly what I was about to ask. Is this really a threat? How threatening is anything that's happening right now? We see what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points of territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this right here, this little square that I'm making, is about 60 points of territory. So how much is the bottom right-hand corner alone? It's about, what, 35 points or so? 32? Did I miscount? Somewhere around there? So that in itself is large, almost making up most of what that square is. But then we've got 4 other corners, definitely making up the square, because we've got, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, that's enough. Are we closer to 40? Did I count that too quick? Okay. So, it's not as frightening as it looks. It is there, but it is also goatee at the moment. That is true. So it's not quite as frightening as it looks, because black has so much freaking territory and ways to get more of it. So it's really, really large, but black has a lot of points. Black has a crazy amount of points. All of this is almost just making sure the game is even with what black already has. Which is why black says, you know what? This game's pretty close still. I'm going to defend my territory. This is mine. White says, okay, I don't like that invasion point being free anymore. I'm going to make sure that's gone. Now we have a reason to get rid of it before responding. That is the second part of why I picked this game, Hikaru Pro. Trying to live in this seems like it's insane. It's one of the appeals why people play this way. Because they think never and ever, ever, ever is our opponent going to be able to live in that area. If they come in, we're just going to kill them. Easy peasy. But that's why there's a thing called Aji, and that's why reading is really good, And it's also why we want to remember the golden rule of trying to kill a group. If a group has only one thing that it has to do, and that's not die, if it only has to do that one thing, it's really, really hard to kill. Doesn't have to worry about other weak groups on the board, doesn't have to worry about just like running into our own territory and reducing ourselves, any of that garbage. If only the only thing it has to do is just live, it's really hard to kill a group, especially in an area this large. So alright, black, go live. Well, we start with the forcing moves. Then we start with something that might eventually get us some shape. White takes the bait and cuts. Forcing move. Forcing move. Looking for more Aji. Here we can see that he's trying to connect up his F14 stone. Or his E14 stone, sorry. We can see generally what he's going after. He's slowly but surely threatening to disconnect this group. So this is where the forcing moves are right now. White says, you know what, you're getting too much shape, I have to poke it. Black says, okay, I'll defend myself. And threaten to get eye shape while I'm defending myself. Right now he almost has one eye. That was pretty quick. White says, nope, no eyes for you. Black says, okay, then how about I kill you? Does that work? Is that better? White says, no, that's not better. That's kind of opposite of what I was going for. I'm gonna live. Alright. Black now has forcing moves on the left side stones as a result of this. White has to respond or be surrounded. Black turns, and now we got threatens for forcing for shape again. We're about one move right now away from life. To be brutally honest, we're about one move from living right now. With everything that we can threaten. Because we got this, have to protect. We've got this. That right there is threat for immediate life, because if H16 is played, then we've got an eye, so that's got to be responded to. We've got forcing moves. Got shape moves. Now we for sure have an eye. Time to make another one. We're almost there. White's poking, trying to kill it. Black's going to create some more Aji. And threaten more eyes. Connect Sente. Alright. This is looking pretty easy. Pretty easy indeed. Get to connect. White says, no, you're not alive. Gonna go ahead and cut, because we can probably link up to M18 in a minute. That'd be great. White says, no, you're not gonna force me to do weird Livy shenanigans. Black extends, white extends. Gets to Hane. Has to cut. Congratulations, we're almost out completely. Oh, look at that, he's going to keep us in. Why didn't black just play M15 earlier to live? I'm guessing you mean here to play M15. Let's see. The take is brutal. If we just play that right now, we can't live, right? We're not quite alive yet? Throw in Rexus. But here, on the other hand, where white is now forced to Atari his way to freedom, now he's alive. So sorry, can't be killed. Plays away. Strengthens up. But as we can see here, there's too many ways. We can Atari here, he takes. We can play H2, or 12, sorry, and we're good. Can't do anything, because that grants life. Boo-hoo. All of that lovely center, all of that lovely center, all that wonderful influence that we just sacrificed everything to get. What about H15? Can't play it right now, otherwise the 3 stones are dead. We can take... Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You want to connect and then play that. Ah, I see what you're saying. Let's see. Should we play that? Alright, there's one thing that you're not there's one thing you're not seeing. Or that I didn't mention, sorry. I'm not going to review the rest of this game, so because there's 2 games I want to go over and it's already kind of late. So let's actually do that. If we go here, and our opponent goes there, and then throws it in and tries to kill us. The part that we're not also noticing is this. We can't actively block this, otherwise we're going to get cut apart again. And if we block that Sente, so we have another eye. If we poke this out, that doesn't matter. We can't Atari, otherwise eye, so we have to save. That's a free cut, and that's never going to be... that's never living. So either way, we're good. Can't be killed. Cannot be killed. So yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Influence. It looks so tempting. A lot of players play that way. But territory, so much more reliable if your life and death skills are up to match. If your life and death skills aren't really on par, then it's actually, I think, easier to play an influence style game. If they are, then you kind of tend to laugh at them. Because large areas like this, where you haven't gone the entire game, randomly getting rid of all of your Aji, you live. If all you have to do is live, you will live. You will find a way. It's happened in so many different games. So even though this looks tempting, and we might want to think, oh my god, I want to play this way, because look at all of that center. It's very, very uncertain. That's why it's called potential and not territory. So what I want to do now is flip into a different game. Same player, not ddcg though, but same player. I don't care. And I want to go over another one of his games because why? What was special about that game? I don't remember. Why did I want to do that one? Why did I want to... Oh, that's why. Okay, that's why. That's why. Ah ha 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 ha. Okay, yeah. This time we're going to see I don't care being the influence style player. So I wanted to go for both ends. Did black wind up? Yeah, black ended up winning. Truer words have never been spoken. I mean, he just wrecked. They're both professionals playing on Tygem. They're probably my 2 favorite players on Tygem, ddcg and I Don't Care 1. I Don't Care 1, I sometimes go over his games when he first ranked up to 9 Dan, because he beat all of his opponents, similar to a style of Legend 88, where it was nice, simple, easy to follow, and showed just basic direction of play and fundamentals that the amateurs were lacking in every single one of the games. That's why I like going over Legend 88's games when he did it, and you can find that on my website just by typing in his name into my search bar. And I Don't Care one, pretty much same thing. Pretty much same thing. But right now I want to switch gears and go over a different game of I Don't Cas where he actually plays for influence, believe it or not. So I'm going to close this, put up another game where we can see that.